Tim, welcome to our channel and thanks for logging on. Today we're discussing the Rolex Oyster Perpetual Cosmograph Daytona, reference 16528 in 18 karat yellow gold. You can see this yellow gold Cosmograph Daytona and purchase it on our website. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you enjoy these videos, and please click on the card in the upper right hand corner of the screen at any time to see our full sales listing for this watch with additional accessories included, high resolution images, and naturally full pricing details. Now on my wrist, 6 1/3 inches, 16 centimeters in circumference, you can see that this is very much the image of the 1988 to present Rolex Daytona. In size and proportions, it really has not changed during that period. Now, material spec, movement spec, even dial designs have, but this watch is nicely representative of a modern Daytona with a lot of vintage appeal. In some ways, it joins the best advantages of each. On my wrist though, 40 millimeters across the round of the case, the size is exactly what you would expect of a modern day automatic winding Daytona. In terms of thickness, it's about 12 millimeters thick. It has a conical, sloped tachometric scale bezel with a slightly domed sapphire. From lug to lug, it's approximately 47 millimeters, but if you include the solid end links of the bracelet, the gold bracelet, you can see that it's about 51 millimeters from extremity to extremity. Now I also want to give a shout out to the fact that although this is an X series watch, for those who are perhaps a little bit rusty on Rolex serial numbers, X series means effectively 1991, perhaps late 1990. You do get solid end links in spite of the age of the watch. So this is a very modern Rolex bracelet feature, but the gold references in all cases, especially on the flagship Daytona, were a little bit ahead of the time. So the watch has a more modern feel and look on the wrist than its vintage would suggest. Now in terms of solidity, the clasp is in great shape, the bracelet's in great shape. It's actually a little bit newer than the watch itself. In some cases, these watches in precious metal took a little longer to sell and a little longer to ship, so it's about 2 to 3 model years with an R code removed from the manufacturer of the watch, and that's to its advantage because it is in superb shape and it feels like a time capsule bracelet. You can also see the handsome differential finish. Now, satin on the flanks, polished on the outer edges, and polished down the center. It's quite becoming, and it breaks up the sometimes monolithic aesthetic effect of all yellow gold. Now I will mention too that this watch, all in yellow gold, can pull it off for 2 reasons. First, 40 millimeters is a very reasonable size. It's by no means a gargantuan thing. It's not a monolith on your wrist. You don't feel like you're hauling a bank vault around because of its low profile, because it's slim. It can hide underneath a dress cuff. 40 millimeters, in my opinion, is the biggest you can get in yellow gold without appearing gaudy. It's kind of the upper limit for traditional sizing, and of a chronograph, it feels perfectly proportioned. So I think yellow gold in this watch, more viable than in larger cases. And of course, vintage can get away with almost anything, especially when paired with that scintillating gloss black dial. The combination of that rich gloss black with the gilt golden printing and the applied yellow gold accents stuns. Frankly, I love the combination of a light metal and a black dial because I think that gives you maximum visual impact. I don't think that anything other than the dark dial light metal combination, quite frankly, has the same effect. As soon as the dial gets silver, as soon as it gets pale, in my opinion, it becomes a little bit over-refined. Obviously, not all will feel that way, but look at the preponderance of light silver sunburst dials and matte silver dials on pure dress watches, and you can immediately infer that dark is the sportier option. And this is a sports watch with 100-meter water resistance. It also has a free sprung balance that is also a COSC certified Swiss chronometer, the movement of 4030, Rolex's version of the Zenith El Primero. It's actually been dialed back somewhat from the manic 10 beats per second of the El Primero to an 8-beat rate that allows conventional lubricants to be used on the escapement for easier servicing. It also takes the Zenith and converts it to a free sprung balance, as I described, with a Breguet overcoil, so it has both shock resistance, resistance to shock-induced timing deviation, and positional resistance, resistance to positionally induced timing deviation, regardless of what position it's on your wrist or on your dresser. Now, it also features the crisp column wheel function that El Primero enthusiasts know. The column wheel, a more traditional way and tougher to tune fashion of building a chronograph. Nevertheless, what you would expect in high horology in a premium product like this, the flagship of the Rolex catalog. Now, of course, Rolex makes the movement its own with the different rate, the different balance, the different bridge architecture. So in a lot of ways, you're getting the best of both worlds. Zenith's vaunted watchmaking savoir-faire wear, and Rolex's bulletproof engineering measures that reinforce what is already excellent. And again, this watch, as I mentioned earlier, is a wearable vintage. You've got the look of a modern Daytona, the size of a modern Daytona. You have the 100-meter water resistance. You have the all-metal bezel. You have the sapphire crystal. You have the screw downs. You have an automatic winding movement. All of these were not the case prior to 1988. Since then, we wouldn't accept anything less. But this watch, now approaching 27 years old and before long 30, is a vintage watch that nevertheless retains all of the performance factors of a modern watch. If you're into collecting Rolex or you want to get started, this is the best of both worlds. You can see this Rolex Oyster Perpetual Cosmograph Daytona 16528 in yellow gold and purchase it on our website.